Good morning on day 21. It's a rather chilly and blustery morning. As I get started here with segment 5, I made a quick stop in Linville last night, which isn't much of a destination. I didn't see much more than like the motel and a gas station, but everybody was really friendly and I stocked up on some snacks at the gas station so that I'll be able to get to Blowing Rock, which I should get to tomorrow, and then do a bit more of a proper resupply. Impressive bit of bridge construction. The guy who gave me a ride back to the trailhead said that it was the last part of the parkway to be constructed. Looking back this way, from this little perch here, you can get a better view of that very long, cool bridge that I was kind of walking under on my way east. Got a pretty spectacular 360 from up here, which I haven't had many of those on this trail, so this is pretty neat. Looking off this way, you can see these features here, especially like this one, and then that's part of Linville Gorge. We're getting much closer views of that a few days ago, so it's always neat to like look back and see how far you've come. This is the first time I've seen this particular solution to a barbed wire fence. It's literally a little A-frame ladder to help you climb over the fence. It's not bad. Could have used a few of these on the, probably in New Mexico on the CDT. You just crawl through those fences. I'm currently in Moses Cone Memorial Park. Based on my map, I would believe that part to be the carriage house. Supposedly there's a manor around here somewhere. We'll see if we can find it. I can see why you'd build a manor here. The views are pretty nice. And that looks like the main house right up there. Yeah, maybe I'd live there. Well, I know I said I was going to be getting to Blowing Rock tomorrow, but surprise, I'm going to make it today. That's going to make for about a 25-mile day, which is just not numbers that I've really been pulling on this trail so far. But the terrain has gotten a little bit easier. Trail legs are feeling strong underneath me, and whoops, I walked 25 miles. So also the town pool can just be strong sometimes. I have been in touch with a very sweet trail angel who has offered to host me, and they've also been very generous and kind and patient as I have continually changed which day I would be arriving, making it earlier until the point of being like, actually, I'm just gonna get there today. So, yes, super grateful for that, that amount of generosity and flexibility. And yeah, I should make it into town in time to find some dinner. What a nice sight for my longest day yet on trail. And I think that right there looks like dinner. Yum. Well, good morning on day 22. Today is going to be kind of a mixture of hiking day and a town day. I'm in Blowing Rock. I got into Blowing Rock last night, and I really wanted today to just be a town day. Like I just wanted to chill, do some chores, eat some food, enjoy Blowing Rock, you know, a nice little mountain town. But today the weather is super lovely, and tomorrow it's meant to get pretty nasty. So because of how incredibly kind and sweet the trail angel I'm staying with is, I'm gonna do basically kind of like a slack pack. Like I am still gonna go into town here, but then I'm gonna walk for a ways further down the Mountains to Sea trail, and then be able to get a pickup later in the day. So again, that'll be kind of nice. That way I get to get some miles in on the beautiful day and not hopefully have as far to go on the super nasty rainy day that is pretty certainly coming tomorrow. Can just see the tips of the trees touched by fall, and I'm following my old friend the Blue Ridge Parkway here. Yeah, better to see all this on a gorgeous day, I think, than a stormy one. Hazards of not watching where you step on this particular section. That is cow poo. All the way up over the top of my shoe. Gross. And as the sun is just starting to get low in the sky, this will conclude my day hike. So this wasn't how I had, originally envisioned this day, but I'm actually so glad that I went hiking today. Like, it's just been such a, perfectly pleasant early fall day. I'm catching sunset overlooking kind of everything behind me here, and it's just been gorgeous. And I think I'm really going to appreciate days like this in comparison to what I believe the next several will be like. So yeah, it's been lovely. Good morning on day 23. I think today is going to be the town day that I'd kind of anticipated for yesterday. The storm's supposed to roll in pretty powerfully later this morning or in the early afternoon. And so right now I'm in downtown Blowing Rock, just gonna get some coffee because I love coffee in town. And then kind of lay low and let the worst of this thing roll through, I hope. I'm really fortunate to have kind of a safe, dry place to be here in Blowing Rock. So yeah, today's gonna be a 0 day, primarily because of, well, just wanting to stay out of a really nasty storm, and being fortunate enough to have that chance. Well, this is definitely some of the weather that I've been fortunate to avoid. It actually took longer to get here today than I was expecting, but it is obviously wet. It's supposed to continue to rain harder. It's surprisingly cold. It's supposed to be decently windy, and you can kind of see that it is. So yeah, feeling very grateful for a warm, dry place. Morning on day 24. Back out on trail. The wonderful trail angel that has been hosting me just dropped me back off. And so, yep, here where I left off the other night after my 0 day. I'm super pumped to be back out here, because as much as I enjoy a day of rest, I also do get restless. But yeah, I was able to miss the worst of this storm, it seems. Which is great. I mean, it's a little like drizzly and cold this morning, but ultimately not too bad. I think I'll be all right. It's interesting, there can be so much traffic on the Blue Ridge Parkway sometimes, like even when I'm not on it I can hear all the cars, but on cloudy mornings it's very quiet. So there's no doubt I'm certainly a fan of sunshine and warmth, but there's also something kind of nice about sort of the misty forest, about how quiet everything feels and seems. I know there was a sign telling me the name of this cabin. I don't recall what it was. Here's part of the same little settlement. Cool Spring Baptist Church. If you don't know what it's like to have the undivided attention of a crowd, just walk by a group of cows. Hello, turkeys. Or goodbye, turkeys. So I am in the super fortunate position of having a family friend, or really it's my best friend growing up, her parents, who were, you know, kind of like a second family to me. I'm sure at some point when I was a teenager, they probably looked at each other and were like, no wait, how many kids do we have? Because like I keep doing the count and yeah, there's definitely an extra one here. Anyway, they have a home not too far from the trail, in the general vicinity around West Jefferson. And early on, they reached out to me and said that they would like to meet me when I came through this area. And so now today is the day. I will be reaching that area a little later this afternoon. Because I was able to do that day hike the other day, kind of waiting, kind of anticipating the bad weather, that put me within a day's walk of where I'm going to meet my friends. And so, yeah, really been really fortunate to kind of on either side of this bad weather have support, which has been really grateful. The storm turned out really not to be quite bad, at least not as bad as they were kind of calling for, at least in this area. But still super grateful to have spent those nights like warm and dry instead of getting flooded and blown over in my tent. So fortunate to have that opportunity again tonight, and then also of course to get to reconnect with old friends. Well, I didn't know there was an Eastern Continental Divide, but that's kind of cool. Good afternoon on day 25. I just got back on trail a few minutes ago, and I've come across this cool little progress marker, I suppose. So I started at Clingman's Dome. That was 317.2 miles ago. And then the end of the trail at Jockey's Ridge, oh, just around 858 miles. No big deal. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm back out on trail this afternoon after spending a really lovely evening and morning with my friend's dad. So big shout out and thank you to Scott for coming up to meet me, feed, water, and shelter me, and just generally hang out. That was wonderful. And love to her mom and to my friend's mom, Sue Ann, who wasn't able to come up for this particular visit, but hopefully I will see you sometime soon. Good morning on day 26. It's another cool and cloudy morning. It was very windy last night. It's still breezy this morning. Honestly, I thought I would probably get a bit of a rainstorm last night. It looked dark enough for it. Still kind of does. But at least for the moment, oof, all is dry. So there's a bridge out on the Blue Ridge Parkway. That's what all these road closed signs are about. Fortunately, my trail is up this way a little, and I seem to be able to go around that problem. Aster and goldenrod. Looks like the sun is out. Clouds are finally starting to blow away a little bit. A little while ago, I walked right into a spider web, pretty much just like this one. I actually think it was the same type of spider. And then I didn't realize what I had done and just felt something kind of funny on my hand and had a creature very much like this one right on my hand. I promptly freaked out, and I don't know what happened to that spider. So I was sad though, because they're super cool looking. Yeah, I definitely prefer them not on my person. There we go. There's a shot of this crazy looking creature from the other side. That's what I looked down and saw on my fingers. Bah! These are sometimes my favorite types of trails. Like right on the side of a mountain, looking out into the distance. I believe the hillside right there is probably where I'm headed next. This is in Downton Park Recreation Area, and it's probably one of the last views I'll get like this, where to a degree I can kind of look back at everything that I've walked through. Not everything, but you know, a piece of it. And then also kind of look forward to where the land starts to flatten out a bit more and where I'm headed. I'm really starting to love some of the colors that are coming out as well. This is cute. This is a Brenniger Cabin, which is a homestead, or it was, that I was just reading about, that the Park Service purchased from the family in 1935. So before the end of the day today, I will be reaching Devil's Garden Overlook, which is the end of segment 5. It is also the end of the mountain sections of the Mountains to Sea Trail. So pretty soon after I start segment 6, I'll be dropping pretty drastically in elevation away from the Blue Ridge Parkway. So it's also the spot where I finally leave the Blue Ridge Parkway behind, and I'll be getting into the Piedmont region of the state, which is the middle of the state. It's the rolling hills section. It's also the most densely populated area of the state. So lots of changes coming here. It's also a big change for me because pretty soon after I start segment 6, my dad is going to be meeting me with my bicycle, and so I'm going to switch from traveling on foot to traveling by bike, and I'm pretty excited to give that a try. So I've definitely enjoyed walking through Western North Carolina. It's allowed me to see the state in a way, this part of the state, in a way that I've never seen it before, and I think that's probably going to remain true for every section I do after this. It's all going to be experiencing it in definitely a different way. So yeah, I'm excited for all the changes coming up as near the end of the of segment 5 here. Well, unfortunately the sign seems to be gone, but this is Devil's Garden Overlook. So I think I'm going to hang out for a minute, maybe have some dinner, and say goodbye to the Blue Ridge Parkway.